Welcome to the Cinematic Flight Reports, and welcome back to the United Arab Emirates. Here at the Waldorf Astoria in Ras Al Khaimah, I've spent a week of relaxing vacation in late April of 2021. With its pristine oceanfront location, the hotel has proven itself to be an extraordinary member of the Waldorf lineup and constantly kept up standards throughout the years. Settled among carefully built gardens, it offers way more tranquility than you would expect from a resort its size. The F&B offering effortlessly delivers in both quality and elegance, and also now during these challenging times, management has refrained from issuing major cutbacks and chose to deliver the best possible service. With almost 350 rooms, the property never feels too crowded, as the many secluded areas in the garden and at the beach allow guests to spread out nicely around the site. Ultimately, this hotel embodies everything that you would come to expect from a Waldorf Astoria. But of course, this also includes the clock. Each hotel's clock is unique, and this one is one of the most monumental and beautiful ones, telling not only time, but also the exact times of the 5 daily prayers of Islam. After arriving here on board Emirates A380 in episode 5, it was now time to try out Emirates' other prestigious first-class product, the fully enclosed first-class suite in the 777, which Emirates calls the game changer. Regularly flying to only a few destinations, I chose a route this cabin served from the beginning: Dubai to Brussels. Enjoy. Emirates schedules the block time at 7 hours, meaning that after leaving Dubai at 8:20 AM, we would touch down in Belgium in the early afternoon. As Ras Al Khaimah is about an hour's drive from Dubai Airport, I plan to leave the hotel way before sunrise. Even though I was a little late, the driver of this magnificent S-Class waited patiently, and at around 5:30 AM, I was ready to go. Leaving the Waldorf Astoria Ras Al Khaimah and heading for Dubai Airport. The car was not only beautiful, but also corresponded to its outstanding reputation. Generous legroom, as well as comfortable seats with an active cooling system, added to the experience. The same goes for the adjustable backrest, making it easy to get some rest during these early hours. Traffic on this day was light, so the initial delay didn't matter that much. We were flowing towards the airport with no rush. As it was a clear morning, we could take in some stunning views of the world's largest fleet of A380 before turning right towards the terminals. Arriving at Terminal 3, I was able to check in with almost no waiting time, thanks to Emirates' dedicated premium check-in counters. Less than 10 minutes after arriving at the airport, I was already heading up the escalator for the Emirates lounges at departure level. While the first-class lounge was closed at the time, that didn't mean that Emirates would not be offering a lounge service for first-class passengers. Instead, they went ahead and secluded a part of their huge business-class lounge, making it exclusive for first-class guests. That included a restaurant area as well as the champagne bar. With both a cafe and bar setup, guests got to choose from almost the entire Moet lineup, including both Brut and Rosé as well as the 2012 vintage. Despite a delicious-looking sushi offering and cooked-to-order breakfast choices, I got a seat in the armchairs behind the restaurant tables and passed on both the 7 AM fish and eggs. Yet I didn't say no to a refreshing chilled glass of the 2012 vintage Moet Chandon, which made an excellent start to a hopefully memorable journey. My boarding gate B27 was a few minutes away from the lounge, and when I got around, boarding had already commenced. Meanwhile, a Boeing 777-300ER received the last items of freight. This is one of only 9 aircraft that currently have the latest cabin configuration installed. I found that to be a surprisingly low count, given that Emirates is the world's largest 777 operator and currently flies more than 140 of them. Stepping onto the aircraft, you're immediately welcomed by the fragment-composed motif of agave, the UAE's national tree. The cabin's overall appearance, with its custom curved ceiling elements, wooden floor finishes, as well as omnipresent LED stars, is nothing short of magnificent. Light is shaped beautifully in order to balance the 6 massive suites, which due to their floor-to-ceiling doors, make the aisle look even narrower than it already is. I chose one of the 4 window suites, number 2K. The leather armchair undoubtedly is the dominating focal point of the suite. Compared to the business class seat behind, the scale becomes obvious. The soft leather upholstery is meant to strike a resemblance to the comfort experienced in a Mercedes-Benz S-Class. With a pitch of 79 inches, the space definitely is equally luxurious. The detachable tablet next to the seat acts as the suite's brain, as that's where all the control options converge. On the desk, you'll find the classic Emirates snack selection, alongside a set of Steiner binoculars. The compartment in the middle holds the usual skincare products as well as the writing kit. Doing without overhead bins, the suite maintains an open and airy feel. The therefore acquired space was fitted with carefully crafted soft-touch wall elements that beautifully frame the 3 windows below. Above the desk sits the TV screen, together with the minibar on both the right and left sides of it. Sitting down in the massive armchair makes you recognize more and more of the suite's details, especially as your eyes turn upwards. Here, Emirates installed a gemstone-like chandelier that shines in a bright white color. For the welcome drink, the crew served me a glass of the 2008 vintage Dom Perignon, just as they did aboard the A380 a week before. Emirates remains Dom Perignon's biggest customer, and with the 2008 vintage, they surely have one of the best options in the sky. For me personally, it's actually the welcome drink that triggers the most anticipation for the upcoming journey. All bags are stowed, all formalities are taken care of, and one has already settled in and made oneself comfortable in the seat, ready to take off. Shortly after, I received a tour of the suite's safety and entertainment features. Usually, I would decline any kind of assistance, yet with so many options, today marks an exception. Possibilities really are endless, and passengers may use the panel next to their seat to change their suite's lighting and seat position, as well as individual temperature. This adds another layer of customization to the experience that otherwise is out of the question on commercial aircraft. On top of all that, the implemented video call option lets you communicate with cabin crew even when the suite's doors are closed.
That's just gorgeous. You can hear me too? Oh yeah.
But that indeed will have a more personal touch once the protective gear is no longer required.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, your captain speaking. We'd like to welcome you aboard this 777-300ER aircraft bound to Brussels. Due to the COVID situation, we expect that everybody wears their mask properly at all times unless you're eating and drinking. Thank you for your attention. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the Emirates experience.
Beautiful.
Right.
Urban winter?
Before taxiing, the cabin senior welcomed me on board and handed me the menu for today's flight. Starting with breakfast, you can freely select your choices and eat at any time. Unlike the A380, this aircraft doesn't have a bar, yet a significant cocktail offering remains available and is complemented by several spirits, casually listing high-end cognacs from both Tesseron and Hennessy. 4 red and 4 white wines complete the range, and I place my order for breakfast straight away.
Would you like to have some hot beverage, sir?
Actually, yes. Cappuccino if possible.
Cappuccino?
Thank you.
To take a whole deal with us.
Perfect.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward.
Is there anything else that I could offer you?
Not at this point. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
So far, the experience was everything I hoped it would be. Emirates' decision to reduce capacity in favor of a 111 configuration definitely paid off, as the extra space is profoundly remarkable. Cabin trolleys may be stowed in the cabinet below the desk, keeping the suite's appearance nice and clean. Most changes make a lot of sense, such as the new wireless remote in the armrest or the touched-up buttons on the seat's left-hand side. That also goes for the 2 middle suites that feature one additional innovation: virtual windows which project a live camera feed. Shortly after 8:20 a.m, we left the gate and headed for the runway.
ربط حزام الأمان. عندما تكون إشارات ربط الأحزمة مضاءة لتعديل الحزام اسحب الشريط ولفك الحزام ارفع الغطاء المعدني.
We'll let you know when you can turn on Wi-Fi and mobile roaming.
First to arrive during our shaky climb was a banana smoothie. I had already made my choices for lunch and now ordered ahead as I planned to eat close to landing time. On my previous flight in Emirates First Class, the food on offer left me with mixed feelings. Appetizers and service were impeccable, yet the steak main course turned out to be an overcooked mess. Now, leaving from Emirates home base, I was therefore hoping for a more consistent experience. Before the breakfast would be served, I checked out the extensive seat controls on the suite's tablet. Just about every possible adjustment can be made, leaving the choice up to you. Emirates especially prides itself on the so-called zero gravity setting, which is set to put you in your body's natural resting position. The tray table that slides out from under the desk is incredibly massive and the biggest I've ever seen on a plane. However, once the tablecloth was laid out, both the crew member and I noticed an unusual flaw, and she went to look for a new one. The cloth had built up a quite severe amount of pilling, which didn't fit the otherwise flawless cabin appearance. With a neat replacement, the breakfast service then was about to start. I went for a glass of water and grapefruit juice, as well as a selection of fresh fruit and some pastries, before the cold plate was served. Pastries were heated up, and the offered selection was extensive. Yet personally, I found it to be a bit too much of a good thing to shrink wrap every single item in plastic. Fruit and juice were both alright, yet to me, the offered breakfast choices lack any proper main, like pancakes, waffles, or simply any kind of egg dish. That's not an Emirates issue per se, as breakfast in the air rarely is exciting, yet in first class I expected some sort of extra effort. The served cold plate is emblematic of everything that needs improvement, because this is not good enough. In retrospect, I should have had breakfast in the lounge, or just ordered a juice with fruit and had it on the fly instead of having the table set up and take all of that time for a mediocre experience.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Once the table was cleared, a nice hot cup of cappuccino was served. And this is a perfect example that sometimes a little gesture makes all the difference. The breakfast offering could use a little more of this special touch. Settling in into the flight, the bright skies outside offered a clear view of the lands below, and the virtual windows in the middle suite across the aisle showed a surprisingly good image of the view out the other side. Balancing bright lights is a challenge for any camera, but the team taking care of this project made it possible to intelligently monitor and react to the ever-changing light conditions, limiting exposure mechanically when necessary. A middle suite is always somewhat of a compromise. With virtual windows, it's a better one, especially since the doors close entirely, which otherwise would leave you with no view at all. Meanwhile, the crew set up the bed in the empty middle suite next to me, so I didn't have to wait for it. In order to provide the largest possible lying surface, the seat's armrests retract, giving way to a very generous bed with a length of 218 centimeters, comparable to a California king. The already soft leather upholstery is topped with a layer of memory foam, which helps to smooth out the bed even more. Yet it's important to point out that even though flat and comfortable, the bed has a noticeable angle. Emirates provides you with a pyjama of your size, and the suite is so spacious that even with the bed made and the door closed, you'll find enough space to change right there instead of heading to the bathroom as you usually would. On top of that, you also have a personal wardrobe and can put your clothes on a hanger. Once in bed, I turned to the control panel on the wall and adjusted the light. Switching colors was easy, as the unit worked intuitively and its touchscreen was responsive. Enabling this additional level of customization may seem like an unnecessary gimmick, but it ties in precisely with Emirates' goal: to create your very own hotel room above the clouds on your terms. And that, of course, includes the I.F.E. The 32-inch HD TV certainly is an upgrade over the 23-inch model in business class, but you're also further away, making it appear smaller than it actually is. I'd rather sacrifice the redundant minibar for the benefit of a larger screen, since it's not chilled anyways. Despite that, the 2500 channels of entertainment don't disappoint, and tablet and screen work well together. Still, compared to A&A's 43-inch 4K monster, the difference in size is obvious. After my nap, I returned to my seat and changed back to my clothes. At this point, 90 minutes of flight time remained. About time for lunch. I started with the canapés, complemented by a glass of champagne. For that, a fresh bottle of Dom Perignon was opened. The white crystals on the cork are not a flaw, but a harmless byproduct that can occur during storage. Canapés consisted of smoked Scottish salmon, grilled venison with cranberries, and bleu d'Auvergne gingerbread, a blue cheese from the centre of France. Created together by Emirates and Dom Perignon, canapés and champagne are meant to be enjoyed together. Both salmon and cheese worked well. The hard and chewy meat was not for me though. Soon after, the flight attendant cleared the canapés and prepared the suite for lunch service. Today, we shared more than one good laugh together. Something I really enjoyed is in between all of these carefully executed service steps, a certain casualness is more than welcome. Needless to say, the table was set up meticulously in true Emirates fashion. Its length and width again were stunning to me and makes you almost forget that you're eating on a plane. As the menu is so extensive, you can freely decide how many courses you'd like to eat. From the 7 offered appetizers, I chose 4, starting with a caviar. Served with traditional condiments, the caviar was a delicious start. This is something I really enjoy, while otherwise rarely order it anywhere else than on a plane. Next up, a classic lentil soup, served with Arabic bread croutons, as well as a wedge of lemon. One of my favorite soups, especially when staying in the UAE or Egypt. When flying with a Gulf carrier, I'm almost always going to order it. The same goes for Mezze. Presented as carefully as on the A380 a week before, the selection again was extraordinary. As expected, the various specialties didn't disappoint, and Mezze remains a must when in the air. Emirates offered heated bread to complement the dish, and I couldn't wait to give it all a taste. To complement my final starter, I went with a glass of the offered Chablis. Crisp and citrusy in flavour, the Chardonnay William Fèvre delivered exactly what it promised, another great pick from Emirates cellar, and a good pairing to the ordered salmon and trout salad. Emirates described this dish as a composed salad with roasted beetroot and seasonal greens, dressed with truffle oil and lemon. To be honest, it doesn't even fit the description. If anything, this was a salad of peas on a beetroot puree, topped for whatever reason with a caper. This weird combination didn't make any sense to me, and I started worrying about what was still to come. Unfortunately, I could also not order a replacement as we were already too close to landing. For the main course, I had to decide between the Saint-Emilion and the Paulliac. In the end, I chose the Pichon Baron to go with the ordered beef Wellington.
There shouldn't be any disappointment.
I picked it not because of its price tag, but because I felt that its fuller body would work better with a taste of the meat. True to their fine wine program, Emirates offers to serve red wines in a carafe, which is rarely seen on planes. With the beef Wellington, one of my favorite dishes was about to be served. A seared piece of beef tenderloin is brushed with mustard, ideally wrapped in Parma ham, coated with a mushroom duxelle before being wrapped in puff pastry, and then baked to perfection. Once in the oven, you just need to keep perfect timing. As ham is out of the question, the crêpe will also do the job and keep the meat from drying out, making this a designated dish to be served on board. Yet looking at the misshapen puff pastry, I was already scared. What unfolded when cutting through the beef was another main course disaster. Honestly, I don't even know where to start. The Wellington was not even assembled correctly and missing a layer between the beef and the pastry. The beef itself was cooked beyond belief, so far over that I'm sure it was well done before being loaded onto the aircraft. Even the broccoli is boiled to complete destruction, and if you can't even be bothered to get the vegetables right, what's the point of serving such an ambitious dish as beef Wellington? I did give it a try, yet cutting through the soggy pastry was a pain on its own. This dish has been on Emirates menus for years, therefore I don't understand why they approach it with such neglect, and still don't change their ways, as sending it out like this must result in constant complaints every single time. If it doesn't work, don't serve it. Unfortunately, unlike last time, the wine didn't come to the rescue. The Pichon Baron didn't deliver the power I expected, yet I know that this is incredibly subjective, and my judgment may have still been impaired by the plated insult to good food in front of me. Moving on, I went to finish the meal with some cheese, fruit, and of course, a glass of the magnificent 1976 Tawny Port. Pouring it into the glass is enough to flood the suite with its intense aroma. The thick texture of the port simply is exciting, as it hints at the sweet and soothing taste lying below. An absolute delight. As for the cheese board, Emirates served a generous selection of 6 cheeses, from a British Stilton on the right to a Camembert on the left, featuring 3 hard cheeses from cow and goat, as well as Greek feta in the middle. The fruit marked the end of today's lunch service, as I didn't order any of the 3 other desserts on offer. Instead, I had another cup of cappuccino before we would start our descent into Brussels. Looking back on this flight, I don't understand why Emirates would not make it a priority to excel in the F&B department. The breakfast service lacked a proper main course and had a sad-looking cold plate. Lunch again had very good starters except one, and the main course was set up to fail from the beginning. With 7 appetizers, 5 mains plus sides, as well as 5 desserts, the selection was huge, but that doesn't help if it isn't any good.
Temperature is 13 degrees Celsius. I trust you've had a pleasant flight with us, and we look forward to seeing you on another Emirates flight. Thank you.
The new cabin Emirates introduced to its 777 lineup definitely is game-changing in a sense, as it defines a new category of first-class travel. Some features may be considered unnecessary, yet the design invokes a pleasant, homely feel and also delivers on practicality. The crew was professional and forthcoming, making every interaction a breeze. They made me feel like I was the only passenger on board, even though I clearly wasn't. Bottom line, I believe that the food concept is in alarming disarray and needs urgent fixing. Food is a crucial element of the onboard experience, and the offering needs to meet the standards set by the brand as well as the price tag. Serving spectacular and expensive wines and spirits is commendable. To rely solely on that is just not good enough. After landing, I headed towards the city of Antwerp. Here, I would stay at IHG's Indigo brand for 3 days, before continuing my travels. The hotel is located on the square opposite Antwerp's stunning central station. While many other brand central hotels in Antwerp are desperate for renovations, the Indigo is more modern than its dull facade may suggest. The rooms feature contemporary design, and 2 of them actually have a terrace with a view of the square in front of the hotel, offering a nice view over Antwerp's city life. And that is a wrap for episode 6. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care, and bye-bye.
Our eyes are closed when we start this loop on repeat. Hear my chest, how it beats.